Wait, you need to stop talking.
I'm
Is Mr. Griffin, are you Mr. Griffin or not?
I am Anthony of the Griffin family.
Are you the Anthony Griffin
of the
that is
estate
charged?
of
Stop a
Anthony
second here.
Griffin.
If you keep talking over me, we're gonna cancel
You
this.
keep talking over me. Matter of fact, Your Honor, are you responsible for me if something happens to me?
This hearing starts off chaotic before the judge even finishes his first sentence. The moment the clerk calls the case State of Wisconsin versus Anthony Griffin Jr., this man decides he's not.
On the record in the State of Wisconsin versus Anthony Griffin Jr., case number 25 CF 939. Could you get the appearances, please?
Assistant District Attorney Jack Schneider for the State of Wisconsin.
And you're Mr. Griffin, is that correct?
No, all statements for the record comes now the living man, Anthony of the Griffin family.
All right, so Mr. Griffin
appearing especially.
Wait, you need to stop talking. Is
I'm
Mr. Griffin
appearing especially.
hearing today? Are you Mr. Griffin or not?
I am Anthony of the Griffin family.
Are you the Anthony Griffin
of the
that is
estate
charged?
of
Stop a
Anthony.
second here.
You asked me a question, I'm answering it.
Okay, I don't want you to answer it anymore. I want a yes or no answer to a question, okay? And the question is, and I have to get the case back in front of me, I'm sorry, but bear with me. Lost my calendar. I have a simple question for you.
25 CF 939.
Are you Anthony Griffin with a date of birth of August 20th, 1985?
I am not the dead entity, Anthony Griffin. I am the executor of the estate. I do not agree to be.
All right, well, we'll have to set this over and hold you in custody then until we can have a later
I will check. As I've been held for 72 hours without seeing a judge, that is unlawful.
But you're not Anthony
So
Griffin.
you are agreeing to violate my common law rights, is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you to, let's do this, okay. I'm gonna find probable cause that this is Mr. Griffin, that is acting in an obstructing way, but, we'll go ahead with it. Do you have a copy of the complaint there in front of
I
you?
object that you're obstructing my justice.
Your objection is noted.
I'm a more, you have.
If you keep talking over me, we're gonna cancel
You keep
this.
talking over me, I just want to state the facts. Do you not want the facts to be stated on the case? Am I not allowed?
You're not allowed, no, you're not allowed to talk about it.
Of attorney, I am not.
Okay, let's hold him in custody, or canceling this hearing, you're gonna have to be
That's
held.
okay.
You're not willing to cooperate. Make a
Let the
record
record show that they're violating my rights. Let the record show that, please, thank you.
Record with a note that he refused to cooperate so that an initial hearing could be conducted.
Anthony Griffin anymore. No, according to him, he's Anthony of the Griffin family, which is sovereign citizen code for I'm about to argue with every law ever written. And right from the jump.
We'll go on the record in the State of Wisconsin versus Anthony Griffin Jr. That's 25 CF 939 appearances.
So Reed Marco for the state.
Understand where the Black Defender's Office refers to Mr. Griffin has indicated that he wants to take care of his own case.
Right, is that right, Mr. Griffin?
I'm not Mr. Griffin, I'm Anthony of the Griffin. I am the power of attorney for him. I do have a question for the court. Will I be allowed to speak freely or will my civil rights be again granted on?
Oh, you get to make a statement on bail, but we're going to do this in an orderly fashion. But you're indicating that you're not Mr. Griffin, or that's just not how you identify yourself.
It's not about me identifying myself and the Griffin carries my all caps entity with the dead entity. I actually have an EIN for this created entity. This is not me. I also do not get this address. I'm also not a Black man. I am on board. So a lot of things on here totally wrong, which not be at all. My weight is not 240 pounds. All this information is false. But as for the record, all statements for the record comes now the living man and the other Griffin family. Sure, yours or your son status appearing expressly to continue the rigorous reporting. I'm not to be mistaken with the all caps state as I am the occupant of the executive office and also the sole beneficiary of the state. I filed my power of attorney with the court and I'm ready to proceed. Let the record show that I do not agree to be a surety for the dead entity as it was created from the state and was given to me and is not a representation of me. I am not who owe debt to the United States or to the state of Wisconsin. Further, I'm not a flight risk. The only reason I missed support was due to the failure of the court to notify me of said date. Furthermore, being detained. I made it very clear to Officer Gilson that I wanted my rights read to me. Officer Gilson first refused after we asked him twice more than he read me my rights. After Officer Gilson read me my rights, I made it very clear to him that I wanted my attorney present with the sheriff. Officer Gilson then replied, "They won't come." I made it very clear to him that if he continued to talk to me without my attorney present and the sheriff present, it would be a violation of my civil rights and my constitutional rights. He ignored these facts and continued with the arrest in violation of my law and the rights and the protocol that he agreed to follow as an officer. I was pulled over while traveling in a private automobile. The plates read, DOT exempt, do not detain private travel. I made it very clear to him that he does not have jurisdiction, but yet he forced it. I was never properly identified as a suspect. My fingerprints were taken under direct arrest of origin after I told them I did not want my fingerprints or people taken until I have a court order from the judge. I do not argue with any of the facts in this charge against me. This is not me taking at a plea. This is accepted for value and returned for value. All the charges continues in this case, and use my exemption for discharge and set off and release the order to me immediately.
Okay. Well, I think there's at least a reasonable inference on the record that the person known as Anthony Griffin is the same individual in front of me. When they called Anthony Griffin's case, he came out of the holding cell. I don't know why he would do that if he's not. I gave you an opportunity to speak. I'm speaking now.
The judge tries to keep things simple. Are you Mr. Griffin or not? But this guy? Oh no. He launches into his whole living man routine like he's auditioning for a medieval play.
You can object. There's no basis for it. I'm looking at the court records. Please don't interrupt. I'm looking at the jail records.
The Trust Act of 1666 says that when somebody claims their estate, you are to relinquish all of the things to them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's okay. We don't have to talk about that. Also means that this
You
is not.
can file your written motions, Mr. Griffin.
Court with jurisdiction, and I challenge jurisdiction under Federal Rule of Procedure 5.1.
It's denied. The booking photo and the Spillman records match this particular individual. I'll find probable cause.
Man can be awarded over his own case.
And where would you like us to send mail, sir?
You already have mail.
Okay,
53532.
thank you.
And I have a record.
What's the state's position on bail?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, the state is asking the court to impose $1,000 kind of bail with the condition that the defendant be prohibited from possessing any dangerous weapons as defined by the respective statutes. It's my understanding that the defendant posted $5,000 cash on his current pending felony case and then failed to appear in court. He is alleged to have refused to identify himself and has committed additional crimes while out on cash bail, which is, as we know, a general violation of our conditions.
I object.
It's our position that
Let her finish. We can't have this hearing. We are talking over people. We're trying to record it. What's the basis for the
The
objection?
basis for the objection is the fact that she has no basis of knowing who I am. I don't know who she is.
All right.
She's not even.
The objection's overruled. I ruled it, Mr. Griffin. Let her finish.
As far as that failure to appear, Your Honor, it looks like a bench warrant for a body only hold was issued on January 27th of this year in pending case 24 CF 907. That warrant was not served until almost 3 months later on the 17th of April this year.
So Your Honor, they're sure or not that when somebody has a court date that they have to be served a court date so they know that it's there? Or is it okay to actually set a court date without notifying the defendant or the accused and then locking them up for warrant?
All right, and I gather you're alleging that Judge Highland did not send notice to you?
No, there's no certified anything there. There's no document or proof of service of anything of that date. I went to every previous court date and I don't skip court date. He didn't show up for the last 3 court dates prior to that. And I actually put in a motion for failure to prosecute, yet they still moved forward as if nothing was placed in and no one came to court except for me and the prosecutor, and the judge was hiding in the back or whatever the case may be. I filed an abatement just let them know I'm not the person who they're looking for, but yet I keep getting trampled over in court. My rights keep trampled over in court. You have this person standing to the left of me who knows me not at all, and yet I would like her to take the stand and talk about how she knows me personally, because you cannot be a beneficiary.
Well, we're not gonna be
She's
doing any
acting
of that,
as the
Mr.
state,
Griffin.
and she is not the state. I know her not. I don't understand what's going on.
The judge asks for a yes or no, a T, and this man acts like yes and no are offensive words. What makes it even wilder is how confidently he delivers this nonsense.
All right, well, it looks like they mailed notice to the address that you had on file at the time.
So
But you're gonna have to take that up with Judge Highland. That case is not before me. Looks like he's issued a body-only warrant. You can't get released on that until you have a hearing with Judge Highland in that case. I think given the history, $1,000 cash bail is necessary. I will set that.
I object, and it's clear
And
that
that's
these
fine.
have been violated, and you're still moving forward. This is called an obstruction of justice.
Don't,
Let the
either
record
your
show
rights have
that.
been
Let the record show
violated.
everything that I've said.
It's all being recorded, Mr.
I'm
Griffin.
glad.
You would have the right to a preliminary hearing in 10 days. Do you want that scheduled?
But I don't want to sit in jail any longer.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to get a hearing in front of Judge Highland on the other case. Right now, you're not allowed to post any cash bail to get released in that particular case. I don't have any authority to do anything with that.
So if you don't have authority, that means
You're
you don't
gonna
have
have,
authority over
you're gonna
me.
have to address
I object.
that
If you don't
case
have
with him.
authority to actually set me a bail, you do not have authority over me. Matter of fact, Your Honor, are you responsible for me if something happens to me?
All right, and I'll also order that you not use or possess dangerous weapons as it's defined by the state
You're
statute.
responsible for.
And because I haven't heard a response, I don't believe we have a waiver of time limits to set a time for
Are you
preliminary
responsible
hearing.
for me if something happens?
And we are adjourned. Mr.
Okay,
Griffin.
since you're not responsible for me if something happens to me, let the record show that you are not. You got crazy. Bad.
He actually demands to know whether the judge is responsible for him if something happens to him. At this point, the judge hasn't even gotten the case file open. He's flipping through pages, apologizing because he lost his calendar. While this guy is treating the courtroom like a stage for his personal conspiracy convention. And as soon as the judge attempts to continue, Mr. Griffin just barrels over him with non-stop interruptions. The judge tries to read the complaint, and Griffin jumps in again and again until the judge finally hits his limit. He warns him, clearly, if you keep talking over me, we're going to stop this hearing, but that warning might as well have been background noise, because Griffin clearly has no off switch. From there, it goes downhill fast. The judge tries to determine identity, a basic, required step, and Griffin insists he's not the charged individual, just the executor of the estate. This is sovereign citizen karaoke at its finest. He won't answer questions, he won't let the judge speak, and he keeps demanding common law rights like it's 1783. Finally, the judge has had enough. He shuts it down clean, orders him held until a later hearing, and moves on. And honestly, that is impressive restraint. Because the judge didn't raise his voice, didn't get emotional, he simply watched this guy unravel and then called it. And remember, this was just his first appearance. Somehow, unbelievably, the second appearance turns out to be even more unhinged. When this man comes back for his second hearing, he walks in like he's ready to deliver a keynote speech at the Sovereign Citizen National Convention. And he wastes no time cranking the chaos up to a 10. The judge calmly asks whether he intends to handle his own case. Instead of saying yes or no, he goes straight into a full monologue about how he's not the dead entity, how nothing on the paperwork is correct, how he's not even a black man, and how the information about his weight is all lies. At that point, the judge isn't even arguing. He's just watching this man rewrite reality in real time. He introduces himself again as the living man of the Griffin family, the occupant of the executive office and the sole beneficiary of the estate. If titles alone could win a case, this man would be a Supreme Court justice by now. Then he dives into a 5-minute conspiracy rant about a traffic stop, claiming he was traveling privately, that his plates said "do not detain," and that the officer had no jurisdiction. He even tries to argue that his fingerprints were taken unlawfully, as if fingerprints work on a volunteer system. But the moment the judge attempts to respond, politely, calmly, professionally, this guy cuts him off again, and again, and again. It's like every sentence from the judge triggers another sovereign citizen's speech from a prepared list he memorized in jail. The prosecutor hasn't said 10 words when he objects simply because she doesn't know him personally. He demands she take the stand. He demands proof of service. He demands explanations for court dates he skipped. Meanwhile, the judge is trying to deal with actual facts, previous failures to appear, new charges, bail, warrants, and this guy is arguing like he's trying to cast a spell. At one point, he references something called the 1666 Cestui Que Vie Act, which is the sovereign citizen equivalent of telling the court the earth is flat. The judge, staying steady, just denies it on the spot and moves forward. Finally, after listening to far more than any judge should have to endure, the judge sets bail, imposes weapon restrictions, and ends the hearing. And this man is still objecting as deputies take him away, arguing about responsibility, authority, and every buzzword in the sovereign citizen dictionary. He walks out ranting like he just won. But the only place he's going is right back to his cell. And I'll give the judge full credit here. He handled pure chaos with absolute professionalism. He let the man speak, he protected the record, he followed the law, and when the nonsense went too far, he shut it down clean. Honestly, that's the blueprint for handling sovereign citizens. Let them talk just long enough to prove they have no idea what they're talking about, and then move on before they turn the courtroom into an all-day circus. Let me know what you thought of this breakdown and whether you think these sovereign citizens actually believe this stuff, or if they're just trolling the courts for attention. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the support.